Alright boys, we'll be watching what NASA discovered at the edge of the universe. Alright, Hubble Images 13. Let's go. Let's see.
Thanks to NordVPN for sponsoring today's video. To walk outside at night and peer into the glittering darkness of space is a special experience, but one that doesn't capture the true majesty of space and everything it contains. Light pollution, atmospheric distortion, and our limited
space, man.
eyesight prevent us from truly exploring the universe and discovering
I'm just like super fascinated by this stuff. It's insane to me.
its secrets. Thankfully, the Hubble Space Telescope, from its position orbiting around 550 kilometers above Earth, allows us to overcome these limitations
550 kilometers above Earth. That's way farther away than the International Space Station.
and see deep into space, changing our understanding of astrophysics and shaping our knowledge of the universe, while also dazzling us with remarkable images.
It does look awesome, doesn't it?
I'm Alex McColgan, and you're watching Astro.
I highly recommend
Today
this
we're going
channel,
to look
guys.
through the
Astro
Hubble
is
telescope.
He's amazing. This
Take
guy's
a journey
amazing.
billions of light years into space and explore and give context to the furthest reaches of our galaxy and far, far beyond, all the way to the most distant object ever seen.
It's the
What will we
galaxy,
see along
probably.
the way, and what will Hubble surprise us with in this episode?
Because I see a lot of this stuff.
Our
It's
first
probably
encounter
like a,
is 3,800 light years away,
3,800.
where we see vast blue wings stretching out into space.
Look at that
But
modded
what
dust.
is it? This is NGC 6302, otherwise known as the Butterfly Nebula.
It does look really
Lying
awesome.
within
doesn't it?
our Milky
Like a
Way
butterfly.
galaxy, the Butterfly Nebula's spectacular array of blue and turquoise colors is actually the glowing gas that was once a star's outer
This is amazing. Like this is like in our galaxy.
layer. The wing shape showcases the expansive journey that this gas has taken over the last 2,200 years.
And it's crazy that we never realized that the universe is bigger than our galaxy. We've just recently figured it out. Like one of the biggest proponents to this is obviously Hubble himself.
Covering a distance of over 2 light years. Recent observations of the Butterfly Nebula have detected unprecedented
And I'm not talking about the telescope, obviously. What the telescope is named after.
levels of intricacy in the gas jets and bubbles erupting from the star at the nebula center, all of which create rapid changes in the wing shape we're
amazing.
seeing now. Traveling beyond to 8,000 light years away, we find the star cluster Pismis 24. This cluster contains a combination of remarkable phenomena.
It's unreal.
First, your eye will be drawn to the core of large emission nebula, rising up and glowing.
This is the thing. Like if I was standing right there, this is always like ideas. Like when you go out there, can you see this? I don't think you can see it by your naked eye. Like you would go somewhere in the galaxy and this is what you would see. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. It depends. Depends if it's you can see it. Like what kind of is this, like a visible range spectrum like you see with your naked eye?
Second, you will notice the blue stars lingering in and around the nebula. These blue stars owe their blue color to their intensely hot temperature,
Amazing.
far hotter than our own sun.
This is CGI, obviously.
This is due to their mass, which determines the temperature of a star, with blue stars having at least 3 times the mass of our own. These blue stars
Imagine we orbit like a blue star. Like, wonder how much that would affect culture and everything else. Like the significance of like gold, let's say the gold color, and like I think it would have a huge difference. How would our sky look like? How would our day look like? Like how would we imagine daylight? Like, I mean, when you think about daylight, you don't think yellow, right? Maybe it's the same thing with blue, unless it's like in the sunset times and.
to give Pismis
So on and
24
so forth.
its signature color and texture. Their extreme ultraviolet radiation causes the gas surrounding the cluster to heat and bubble around the star in remarkable clouds, which makes probing the region extremely difficult. For a while, Pismis 24-1, a star in the Pismis cluster, was thought to be the most massive star ever recorded at almost 300 solar masses. However, it is
300 solar masses, 300 times the mass of the sun.
now thought to be at least 3 stars, each weighing in at almost 100 solar masses.
Okay.
Much
Just
smaller
really
than
close to
originally
us.
thought,
Okay.
but still some of the largest stars ever recorded.
Yeah, pretty crazy. Still, even if it's 3 stars, like if you divide that mass by 3 stars,
Vismus 24 is part of the diffuse
still 100 times bigger than the sun, each of them.
nebula NGC 635
Oh, bigger, more mass.
7, a cosmic nursery. The nebula
look
is
at
home
that,
to
dude.
many protostars shrouded by dark gases.
Amazing. It's
Protostars
almost like something out of like a fantasy, like a fantasy book or a movie, or it's like your imagination of fire or doom, or like this is like really artistic style, like fire.
are the earliest stage of stellar evolution, where stars gather mass from their parent molecular cloud. Alongside these protostars are many
Like, you know what I'm thinking right now? I'm thinking like, oh, like our solar system was close to this, and we could see this in the night sky and how amazing that would look like. And some people might think like, well, there's no way we could see this, but we can. It's just like a lot of people grew up in cities and they never actually saw how amazing our skies are. Or actually, if you go somewhere away from this light pollution and you look up at the stars in the sky, that's why it's always been like it fascinated our ancestors so much in the past. Like looking at the stars and like seeing images and like, you know, it's pretty amazing. I would highly recommend, like, if you have an opportunity to do so, to go experience that, to go somewhere out in the desert or in the wilderness when the moon is down, there's no moon out in the sky, and you just look up at the Milky Way and just like what, like gaze into like creation itself. It's an experience that every person, I feel like, should experience.
many young stars encased in expanding cocoons of gas, making the nebula feel like a living organism. Now let's go even further. Journeying 60,000 light years away, we come across Palomar 12, with its globular cluster of stars hanging in deep space. Lingering on the outskirts of the Milky Way's halo, these stars are around 30% younger than the other globular clusters in the Milky Way galaxy.
30% younger.
What is the
Very
secret
new.
to their young age? They were abducted. Palomar 12 isn't actually from the Milky Way galaxy,
Really?
but from the Sagittarius dwarf elliptical galaxy.
That's the awesome thing about galaxies. There's like dwarf galaxies, which is like insane to me. Like we have our galaxy, and there's like we have like these clusters that just swirl around it. I'm really into like super sci-fi kind of like you know, fantasy lore or books or whatever. And I always think about like these clusters. Man, what do they have there? You know, so
Around
always, like,
1.7 billion
sparks my
years
imagination.
ago, the Palomar 12 cluster was torn from its home galaxy by tidal interactions with the Milky Way. In fact,
7
Palomar
billion.
12's home galaxy is currently being ripped apart by our galaxy. These tidal
Still.
forces are limited to
Wow.
the immediate surroundings of their respective galaxy, but when they collide or pass nearby one another, the results are striking, creating
amazing.
strange, distorted shapes, or unique phenomena as demonstrated by Palomar 12, where
Okay.
clusters born in one galaxy end up living in another.
That's awesome. So how long will it
Our
take
journey
before
doesn't
it
end here.
merge
Hubble
all
allows us
together?
to see much further. Let's continue our voyage outwards, hopping more quickly between locations, starting with 30 million light years distance, where Hubble allows us to see a familiar view from a new angle.
Let's go.
This is the Sombrero Galaxy.
Oh yeah, I've seen this before.
As we see it from the side,
It's
it
amazing.
shows us the flat, disc-like
How
shape
big
of
this
most
thing is.
galaxies, a view we don't typically see. You might be wondering why this flat shape is the norm. After all, planets, moons, and meteors tend to be spherical. Shouldn't all galaxies be the same?
Yeah,
The reason for the more
True.
common flat shape found in galaxies is that, as mentioned before, the universe is in constant motion, and
Motion,
gravitational forces caused by the black holes at the center of galaxies cause them to rotate, with the conservation of angular momentum leading to an outward disc-like shape. The Sombrero Galaxy is notable for the blinding white core at its center,
yeah, that's what I was
and the
thinking.
distinct
So bright in
lanes
the
of
middle.
cosmic dust spiraling outwards.
This almost looks like an alien megastructure, doesn't it? It's insane. Look at all the dust on the edges there, like at the thick, like dust clouds, like in like a donut shape. It's amazing.
The most pronounced of which linger at the rim, giving the galaxy its distinct sombrero shape. Continuing further, at 65 million light years, we see the broad elliptical galaxy NGC 1052-DF2. Do
Interesting.
you notice
Good name.
anything distinct? You might have spotted
very
its
hazy.
particular diffuse texture. So diffuse, in fact, that distant galaxies can be seen behind it. This gives the galaxy a supernatural, almost ghostly appearance. But the most strange of all is that this galaxy is possibly missing all of its dark matter.
Is that why it's so sparse? Visible matter 5%, dark matter 27%, dark energy 68%.
This was the first galaxy of its kind to display such an absence. As for why, we're not truly sure.
I wonder, like, if there's a civilization there, and they're like, "Oh, we're special." Do they think they're special? I think, "Oh, our galaxy is kind of shit. We don't have that
Let's
much
go
stars."
even further. This time, just over 300
But it's so strange because it doesn't have a core, right?
million light years from Earth. This is the Coma
Or
Cluster,
it does, but it's not
a
that.
large gathering of more than 1,000 galaxies, all linked together by gravity. A cluster that
1,000?
also happens to be one of the first places where we discovered indications of dark matter. In this image that you're looking at, you can see thousands of intracluster
Look at that. They're almost like in an eight-wheel pattern like this. It's pretty crazy.
globular clusters. These are spherical groups of stars that are not bound to a galaxy,
Nuts.
but to the Coma Cluster itself. While this might seem far, we can travel even further.
Yeah, look at that.
Over
That's
9
nuts.
billion light years away is Max J1149,
9 billion?
aka Icarus. Once the furthest star we knew of in the universe. In fact, light from Icarus takes so long to reach us that it appears to us the same way it did when the universe was 30% of its current age. To give a sense of how far away Icarus is, at the time of its capture in this image, Icarus was at least 100 times further away from the nearest star. Yet we can travel even further, to distances that seem beyond comprehension.
There you go, the light shift.
Nicknamed Earendel, WHL0137-LS is a star in the Caesar's cluster whose light took over
You think that if it's that far away, they'll be basically like you can only see galaxies.
12.9
stars,
billion
individual
years to
stars.
reach us. However, due to the expansion of the universe, the distance between Earendel and ourselves is now even greater, 28 billion light years. We are just seeing it where it was almost 13 billion years ago.
Wow.
Earendel is suspected to be 50 to 100 times the size of our Sun, and due to its enormous mass, is
Wow.
expected to explode in a supernova in a few million years from our perspective. Nicknamed Earendel
From
after
our
the
perspective,
old English
obviously it's
name
not
for
there at
morning
all right
star
now.
or rising light, the name is actually a reference to J.R.R. Tolkien's
Yeah, I was just thinking that's
character
Lord of the Rings
Earendel,
speech.
who traveled through the sky carrying a jewel as bright as a star. Outside of its interesting name and impressive size, Earendel also has an effective surface temperature of at least 20,000 Kelvin,
It's nuts that they can
almost
figure
4
that
times
out.
hotter than our Sun.
It's insane.
There's also a small possibility that it is a population 3 star, which means it would contain almost no other elements beside hydrogen and helium, and it would be far brighter than your average star.
Yeah, because like the stars that we have
We
is
are
like,
able to-
you know, like most of the mass that is here right now is made out of like all these new elements are made in the hearts of stars. At least that's the theory, how the theory goes, because the universe started off with the hydrogen and helium, and that created stars. From stars' cores, they basically squished those elements together to make all these heavy elements like iron and gold.
To see this star through an effect called gravitational lensing, where a cluster of galaxies warp light from the star around them in just the right alignment so that they act like a huge lens,
Yeah.
allowing Hubble to see much further
insane.
than it otherwise would have been able to. Things are so unbelievably far away now that even Hubble is reaching its limits. But is there anything further that we can see on our journey
Galaxy?
to the far reaches of space? Yes. There is one more object Hubble can show us, the redshift galaxy known as HD1, the earliest and most distant known object in the observable universe.
It's just like a blob.
Although little more to us than a faint red dot, HD1 is actually 13.5 billion light years away,
Wow.
or at least it was when the light was emitted, It is estimated
Almost
to
as
now
old
be
as
at a
the age of the
distance of
universe.
33.4 billion light years away, with the expansion of the universe
That's a
taken into account.
Oh my. Wow.
While it lies at the very reaches of our perception, it has some telling details.
You never reach it,
Its
even if you go
extremely luminous ultraviolet
towards the speed of
emissions
light.
suggest it could be a starburst galaxy, producing stars at an unparalleled rate. It could also be home to the enormous population 3 stars described moments ago,
What a cool name, Starburst Galaxy. It's so awesome.
that are far more luminous than the stars we are familiar with. However, these and any other theories are speculative due to the minimal amount of photons we are working with. All we do know for sure is that something is out there 33.4 billion light years away,
Wow.
and for now, that's the furthest thing that we can see. To get more information and perhaps even further views of the
Because
universe,
that's the idea. Like if I'm here and I look that far away into the past, if I go to that galaxy and I look at the same direction, will I be able to see as much as well into the past? How big is the universe? It's insane.
we will need the James Webb Space Telescope.
I
Most
heard some bad
powerful
news about
infrared telescope
James. They got something happened, micro meteor, stuff like that. Maybe we'll check that on another video.
of all. But until then, let's be thankful for the sights Hubble has shown us, and
Amazing
the
stuff.
33
Look at that.
billion light year journey it has allowed us to
Jellyfish.
take. And what a journey it is.
The pillars of creation.
Now,
there.
looking into the void of space can give us feelings of existential terror. How small and insignificant we are. Are we alone? Or just as terrifying, are we not?
Are we
But
not?
while this might seem scary, it's nothing compared to the horror of accessing the internet over an unsecured network.
No,
When you connect to a public Wi-Fi, such as in an airport or restaurant, you are potentially revealing your passwords, financial information, and more to a hacker.
If you guys want
These are called
NordVPN, go support
man-in-the-middle
this guy, man.
attacks,
I'm telling you,
a hallmark of
Astrom is
cybercrime.
amazing, man.
But luckily there's
He's
something you can
amazing.
do
This
about
channel
it.
is great.
NordVPN hides all information that passes between your device and a public network, meaning it cannot be seen by a hacker, and you are kept 100% safe. I particularly like their new threat protection feature, which goes a step further than hiding your activity and actively identifies malware-ridden files, prevents you from landing on scam websites, and gets rid of irritating ads and trackers. Trusted by over 14 million users worldwide, NordVPN is essential for your security, especially if you're like me and don't want to have to worry about that as you use the internet. So click the link nordvpn.com/astrom in
There
the
you go,
description
/Astrom,
and get
guys.
a
Go check it
2-year
out.
plan plus 1 month free. Click on nordvpn.com/astrom and enjoy 30-day money-back
Support my dude,
guarantee.
man.
It's
This
worth
guy
having a
is
look.
Legend, man.
Thanks for watching. If you want more from Hubble, check out the playlist here.
This guy's amazing. Definitely go check out this channel if you guys like what you saw and you want me to delve deeper into the mysteries of our universe with you. Comment down below and let me know what you want me to see. And yeah, I appreciate it so much for having you guys here. Subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.